Welcome to Earth and Owl and the first ever Barn Beginners Bounce Session. Yay! That's a mouthful. So we are going to be working on just a few basic moves today. This is going to work well for anyone who needs just a simple beginner place to start. Always helpful to warm up before you begin. So let's start by taking our feet about hip width distance apart. And if you need to move around, please do so. Shift and stand in a place that's comfortable. And we're going to let our arms just swing around us. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. And I want you to start thinking a little bit about your core. Your core being your abdominal muscles, your obliques, the muscles of your low back. And start to just gently draw your navel back towards your spine. We want that core engagement the whole time that we are bouncing. That's going to protect your low back. Form is super important. All right, let's do a few side reaches. Warm up the lateral side bodies. Deep breath. Chit-chat's okay. Questions are okay. The first few times it feels so formal, but I promise we just ignore the camera. It's hard to do. All right, now we're gonna come over to your rebounder using the edge, and you're gonna reach down for that edge, just a little hamstring stretch. Equal weight distribution in your feet, from the toes to the heels, outside to inside. Some focused breaths there. And if it works in your body, in this forward fold, try lifting your toes a little bit and then lifting your heels. You're going to feel that in your calves and shins, your ankles. Sometimes when people first begin bounce, their feet, their ankles, their calves, their shins, they struggle a little bit with tightness. So this warm-up is just going to help us out with that. Okay, now find some stillness. Right hand on the edge of your rebounder, and you're going to reach up into the air with your left hand. Your right knee is probably going to naturally bend a little bit. That's fine. Push back into your left hip ever so slightly. Hopefully that's good. All right, deep breath in, release your left hand and switch it out. That left knee might bend a little bit. Open your chest up, push back into your right hip slightly. One more breath. Release. Bend your knees, and before you lift, I want you to think about engaging your core. Squeeze those abdominal muscles a little bit. Flat back, lift and rise all the way up. Are we ready to do this? Okay, before you hop on, I just want to go over form with everyone. So when we step up onto our rebounder, our feet are going to be about hip width distance apart. If you need more stability because that's feeling unsteady, you can take the feet a little bit wider than that. Equal weight distribution, toes to heels, outside edge to inside edge. You're going to bend your knees a little bit. You're going to just ever so slightly hinge forward at the waist. Remember your coach growing up saying, athletic ready, get ready. And you wanted to be in that sort of ready to retrieve the ball or hit the ball or whatever. That's kind of what we're looking for, is that athletic ready position. So go ahead and step up. Perfect. The main thing is I want you to really focus on those abdominal muscles and keeping those. What I like to say is, let's imagine someone were going to punch you in the stomach. What would you do? You'd kind of like tense up here to prepare for that punch. So we're tensing up those abdominal muscles, and we're going to start off. I see the clock is, we're going to go for 1 minute just using our momentum and our flat feet to get a little bit of a bounce going here. I just call this like a weight shake or a momentum bounce, because you're not lifting away from the surface. You're just using your body weight to propel you up and down. There is a little bit of a push down into the mat, little bit of bent knees. How we doing? A-okay? All right. We're gonna stay here for another 30 seconds. If you're feeling good, you can make it a little bigger if you want, a little more momentum, but notice how your feet push into that mat, and as you firm up your core, how you're using that. You can swing your arms a little bit. Or not. You can hang right onto that bar. Whatever is comfortable for you. Now, before we move on to shifting our weight, and if you're hanging onto a bar, you can do one hand at a time. We're just going to try to reach our arms up, take a deep breath, and release them down by your sides. All right, reach up, take a breath, and release. A couple more times. Up, and release. Last one. Now, anytime you get your arms going, you are activating that, your lymphatic system even more, knowing that our lymphatic system is kind of what carries the garbage out of our bodies. Jumping up and down like this opens and closes those lymphatic valves. So if you ever experience, a feeling a little bit of ick when you first start, that's often your lymph system pushing that garbage through, and that's pretty normal. It happens to a lot of people. Okay, now let's find some stillness here. Take a deep breath in, sigh it out. And what we're gonna do now is just try shifting our weight from one side to the other. You can think of this as a tiptoe jog. So you're lifting one heel and then the other at whatever pace works for you. Is this easier or harder than the first bounce?
I think it's easier.
I think it's harder.
I like this one.
I'm not sure I'm moving.
We've got pops and cracks.
I'm like, whoa,
Ooh,
there's
what's that?
They're kind of bouncing on the one.
Yeah, so I'm actually doing almost like a little double bounce. It's like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Perfect. And just like you would when you were walking down the street, if you're walking down the street, you're lifting your opposite hand with your opposite leg. That's how we walk. It's kind of the same thing here. You can get your arms going just like you would if you were walking down the street. You want music?
Well, I just because I'm like, I'm watching you and then I'm watching Chantal.
I'm like seeing
I'm
it. No, it's okay. Don't
Okay, I'm gonna clap to the beat that I am going. If you would like to try to match that, hey, be my guest. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Is that hard? Keep clapping?
No.
Okay.
I gotta go slower.
I notice if I do the bar, it helps. But then if I try to get my hands would go the same way. So I'm like, wait a minute, that's not anyway.
All right, so let's keep. Yes, yes. And keeping just your center of gravity here. See, we've probably already, some of us may have forgotten about engaging our core because we're so focused on the movement of our arms and legs that we've let go of that. And then what happens is you wake up the next day and your low back hurts. So you want to keep that, yep, keep your core, yep, okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
For C-section mamas, how do you engage? Like, I feel like it's not engaged. Like, I don't engage very well.
And see, I didn't have a C-section,
Yeah.
so.
Like, I always have lower back pain because I feel like I'm trying to engage, but there's not my muscles like engaging going on very well.
Yeah, well, the way I have always been told or taught is you imagine, okay, a few different things, that you're zipping up a pair of tight mom jeans and like you're trying to suck it in. Like when you try to zip up a tight pair of jeans, you firm that all up. Or like I said, with punching someone, you kind of prepare for that momentum by firming up. Or also just drawing your navel back towards your spine. If you pull your navel back, then your abdominal muscles firm up. But yeah, it is challenging.
I don't know, maybe, I don't know if it's more C-section or more just more voluptuous here, is that when you go to engage the core, you feel like you should be engaging here, but it's more up here.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like you're engaging it because this fat roll doesn't go in, but this does.
Yeah,
It's almost
like,
like knowing where exactly you're engaging. So
Yes.
if you say the navel, you know, like zipping up that tight pair of pants, I feel it more at the top versus where I would think C-section, yeah, that doesn't do anything there.
yes. Low belly is way different, right?
Yeah.
That takes a different, and we do different exercises to strengthen our low belly versus our upper abs and our obliques. And your core also really does include the muscles of your low back. So core encompasses a whole lot of your body.
Also, your diaphragm is right there too. So when you think about blowing all of your air out, you will naturally tense up this area.
Yeah.
Like as a singer, I'm singing.
Ah, thank you.
I thought of in my head when you're thinking about your core. It may not be the muscles, it may be just the airflow. Like push all your air out and see where that tightens for you.
Yeah, so let's try that. Just stop for a minute. Push, take a breath in, push all your air out. Do you notice that tightening? So we want to try to, now can you keep that tightness while chatting and talking and bouncing and jumping? That's what we want to try to maintain throughout.
Is it just natural for you?
I think so, because I've been involved in fitness and exercise my whole life. It is pretty natural for me. Like I engage my core a lot, you know, it just, and I've had a back injury, so engaging my core is always protecting my low back a little bit too. But yes, okay, we've been going a really long time. How's everybody doing?
I started doing this a whole lot better once I started talking, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you want to try a few other things? Are we, I mean,
Yeah, whatever's next.
we're feeling good? Okay, so the next progression I might teach beginners would be like a side tap, step, tap. You can just tap the center of your rebounder. You don't have to go all the way from side to side. Just a step, tap, step, tap.
Can you do it without the bounce?
Yeah, oh, for sure. You can always take the bounce out. That's one of the first modifications, is simply starting by stepping and tapping. Stepping and tapping. And then as you feel comfortable with it, you can add that bounce in.
And then when you're bouncing when you step out.
It's kind of that 1-2 again, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay, I'll step.
Like a dance step. Now, what we're doing here today is called closed chain movement. So we've got one or both feet connected to the rebounder at all times, right? We never are fully lifting away from the surface. So instead of going step, tap, let's try a forward, back. We just got that one down. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take these 4 steps that we've learned, our momentum bounce, our shift weight tiptoe jog, our step tap, and our front to back march, and we're going to put them together. Who knew we were going to be ready for a routine today? Rock stars. So what I like about bounce, and the reason I teach routines and teach to a rhythmic beat, is because it makes rebounding a moving meditation. We can't think about our grocery list, our to-dos, because we have to focus on our body and our movement. Yes.
Yeah. I think I'm slower because my legs are longer. Or
Could
I'm
be.
taller or something.
Because it's actually
A lot of times the speed can be keeping that really nice low athletic ready position, helps you go a little faster. So let's come back to center. I'm just going to do some counts of 8. This will mimic what it will be like when we add music. We're going to start with the momentum bounce. So just let your body do the work. Feet flat on the mat. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5. We're going for a tiptoe. In 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Step tap right here. Step tap. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Front to back. Up. Are we having fun?
Yeah.
5, 6, 7. Down bounce. Hold. So that's what we always come back to. It's a down bounce. It's the momentum bounce. That's our kind of holding pattern, I guess you'd say. So should we go one more time and then wrap it up? Okay. So momentum bounce for 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, tiptoe jog. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Step tap right here. Step. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Front to back. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Down bounce hold. Yay! Round of applause. So we're gonna cool down now. We're gonna do a couple of stretches because we really did work our low back, especially if we are, well, actually I said we were gonna do some core strengthening, didn't I? You were gonna let me forget about that. So here's what we're gonna do to strengthen our core. I want you to come around and sit at the front of your rebounder. As close to the edge as it works for you. And what we're doing to strengthen our core is, when we first start, you may have to aid yourself with your hands, but what we want to work towards is a sit to stand without necessarily using our hands to help us. So we're going to try 10 of these. Aid yourself in whatever way you need to, and the hope is we build that strength. So here we go, up for 1, and down. 2. 3. Easier on the knees.
Yeah.
Maybe try turning your toes out just slightly, keeping the knees tracking over the ankles. Keep your core, really use your core. Think about using that as you stand. See if that helps at all.
Yeah.
4, okay. 5, halfway. 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Great job. Okay, have a seat one more time. Take your right elbow in towards your right knee and drop that hand towards the ground. Reach your left arm into the air. 3 breaths here. I hear the tractor out there. It's harvest time. We're in a barn. Yes. Okay, let's go ahead and switch. Left elbow. We went way more than I thought we would this first session, so hey, great job. And if you at home are watching can only do half of this video, that is absolutely okay and normal. Okay, now we're gonna just ragdoll. Take both hands down towards your feet. Let your chin tuck down. Couple of deep breaths. And make your way back upright. I'm just going to talk to the camera really quick here. So for you at home, please repeat this video until you feel comfortable and confident with these movements before you move on to the next video in the series. All right, thanks everyone. Thank you. Bye.